All right, well, here we are in game 2 of our quarterfinal match, where we've got Seyhak on Jund being up a game, and Taylor on Infect being, well, obviously down a game. Let's see if we can even up this score. The typical Jund start last game kind of wrecked our Infect player. Wrecked Infect? That rhymes. That's, yeah.
Okay, Dr. Seuss.
Oh, thank you.
Wow. Get you some pen and paper so you can start that book now.
Oh, that'd be kind of adorable. Magic-themed rhymes.
The Magic Dr. Seuss. We'd have to come up with a name. Oh my gosh.
I guess, unfortunately, someone's already got that. The professor with the Talarian Community College. He's doctor.
Doctor is doctor?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're like professor. Is kind of assume. I don't know. I don't actually know. But
I don't either.
Yeah, whatever.
Oh, anyways, we got some creatures on the field. Look at that.
Turn 1, Glistener Elf. Just being on the play, obviously in this kind of matchup is just so much of an advantage. But all of the removals, the turn 1 plays that the Jund deck has, certainly make it a little bit more difficult for Infect to have the super explosive starts that it's hoping to get. But Lightning Bolt says, nah, I'm not.
I'd rather not deal with that.
Yeah. Well, I'd certainly rather not deal with that either. When my life total is 10 rather than 20, I'm let's stick with the higher number. That's what I'm thinking. Ooh, Liliana. Well,
and a Kozilek's, Inquisition of Kozilek.
Yep.
And we see that being played. What do we get? Blossoming Defense. Wow, no way! He's got 4 Blossoming Defense. That Glistener take was really bad for that's gloating.
Yep. Yeah, show off that hand. Well, so targeting anything anytime soon is going to be a little bit difficult. But if there was ever a Thoughtseize proof hand, this is certainly it.
That's for sure.
That said, wow, could you imagine if
starting with that? Like,
but could you imagine if that Glistener Elf was able to live? I don't think this is that risky of a keep necessarily, being on the play.
Yeah, but mind you, I may have played that a bit differently, leaving open some Blossoming Defense so that nothing can happen to it. Well, you have all the protection in the world.
I guess, yeah, leading off with the Noble Hierarch, I could see it, but... So I guess the question you ask yourself, what's more likely, a turn 1 removal spell or a turn 1 discard spell?
Jund? Come on now.
Yeah, I guess. I'm thinking... I mean... I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah,
I'd probably play it the same way. I'd play around the discard spell.
Really?
Yeah, I'd play around the discard spell.
Jund knowing that there's an effect across the table from you, I would definitely be more worried about removal. Being that he's not too worried about taking things out of your hand. He's got Lily to do that. She's going to do that anyways.
But so if your opening hand is 5 pardon me, I can math, is 5 protection spells, land, and infect creature, or pardon me, is 4 spells, land, Noble Hierarch, infect creature. I think against Jund, I'd lead with the infect creature, because if you don't, it gives them an extra turn to draw that removal spell potentially, and if they have that discard spell, then you're just screwed holding it up, I guess. Like in this instance,
now attacking lands.
You're screwed for playing it. Speaking of screwed, well, okay, well, once again, off the top is always fantastic. So basically what we've concluded is that you would have an infect creature, whereas I wouldn't, because I would have played it similarly to Taylor.
Well, I'm thinking maybe.
Yeah. Well,
you are chancing. You're absolutely right. Yeah, especially with Thoughtseize and IOK, you are looking at 8 hand attack right off the bat.
Yeah, potentially.
Versus Fatal Push turn?
Yeah, probably. It's just 1 Fatal Push and then 4 bolts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty close either way. It's pretty close either way. But I can see leading with a Noble Hierarch, because I guess especially if you do only have the 1 land, it gives you access to the 2, and you can protect your Infector.
Being that being on turn 2, you could still play. I don't know. I would take the risk.
Yeah,
I would take the risk.
Okay, fair. But instead, we have our Jund player once again kind of just running away with the game, being able to Fulminator Mage the land, stranding our Infect player on 4 not Collective Defiance, pardon me, on 4, wow, I'm blanking on the name.
Blossoming Defense.
Yeah, Blossoming Defense. There we go.
It takes a little bit
yes.
for that computer to get going.
Yes, exactly. Leaving our Infect player on 4 Blossoming Defense, and then even having to discard. Oh, it's
With
rough.
Liliana on the
Yeah.
stack, and Tarmogoyf's in play. He's a 4/5, it looks like, by the counter there. At least we do have a Blink Moth, but what are we going to do with it?
I mean...
Inkmoth, excuse me,
yeah,
Inkmoth.
even if... It's just such a bad proposition if you have to block with it. It's...
You feel bad, for
You're
sure.
so far behind... And if you do, Liliana can... well, it dies, but if some way it could survive... Oh! And I feel like this is just the nail in the coffin. Knight of Souls Betrayal. -1/-1 to all creatures.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yep. Yeah, there's nothing Infect can do about this. Having to go to Liliana discarding, not after end step.
Yeah, those
Going- not
Blink
going
Moths
clean.
are looking quite nice, just...
animate, die, basically.
Awesome.
Yeah, there's not a single card that, I mean...
He can do to get rid of that. Is it enchantment? It
Yeah.
is enchantment.
Yeah, legendary enchantment. And,
Oh,
I mean...
of course, this game...
Affects the Tarmogoyfs as well. They're now only 3 power, but, I mean, it's kind of sealing the deal. If there's maybe some way to bounce it, but in Taylor's sideboard, we don't have anything that's
And that's
even
game.
close. Yep. That's game. Well, quarterfinals, we saw a different matchups than what we've seen previously.
Yeah, I don't believe there was one, John.
Nope, not Jund. We saw Abzan a little bit earlier, and we haven't seen it in an Infect deck. And it looks unfortunately like Taylor's innovations to replace Gitaxian Probe. We had some Giant Growths in the main deck. We had Slip Through Space. We had a main deck Viridian Corruptor. I guess probably for like the affinity matchup. Didn't quite get him there. He got to the quarterfinals, which congratulations on your top 8, Taylor. But unfortunately was cut a little bit short by Jund. So we're gonna see how the rest of the bracket ends up shaping up, and we'll see you in the semifinals.
Just a minute.
All right.